The era of Conton City is over, but you guys know the Xenoverse series has had extremely weird history with the way these cities go. When Toki City disappeared, Conton City appeared. And when Conton City disappeared, this Xenoverse 3 city appeared. But how does this Conton City disappearance even happen to begin with, since we already saved it in Future Saga Chapter 3, and Chapter 4 is going to be the end of Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. And the fact that this city is actually one giant reference to Dragon Ball Online, again, the game that takes place in Age 1000. Hello everyone, it's me again, Steve Doja here, and I wanted to tell you guys about how the new city spawns in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, as well as the history of these cities in the Xenoverse series altogether, because Dragon Ball Online also had locations like this too. But I want to tell you guys right away why Conton City is gone, and the rest of the video will be basically explaining this further and how it relates to Dragon Ball Online, which is also in Age 1000, and is the original Xenoverse. So, to begin with, let's start with Conton City, or Toki City in general. These cities are kind of tied to the Time Nest because the Time Nest is in both places. It literally needs to be there. Otherwise, these places can't even exist to begin with. You can't even wish them into existence. I mean, if you did, it would just be a random city, but it wouldn't be Toki and Conton City. And the Time Nest is, again, linked to the Supreme Kai of Time. So very obviously and very predictably in Future Saga Chapter 4, when the Supreme Kai of Time goes, the Time Nest goes with her, and when the Time Nest goes, Conton City goes. But if that's the case, why do we still have a time patrol or anything relating to Xenoverse in Xenoverse 3? If there's no time manipulation or if there's no Time Nest, how do we have all of these events? Well, you guys know how Frieza became a god of time just by simply having the dark power of the Ultra Supervillain Crystal and making a wish upon the Shenron. That's the same way it can happen to a good guy who has Ultra Superhero powers, and they can also get the ability to manipulate time. Do you guys see where I'm going with this? I'm not saying our Xenoverse 2 character in particular, but most likely, possibly Goku is the reason why we have any ability to manipulate or control time in Xenoverse 3, or why we might even have a Time Nest and a new city that comes with, obviously, this time-fighting good guy hero faction. Because Goku unlocks the ability to get Ultra Superhero. And a big reminder, Goku from Xenoverse 2 remembers the events in Xenoverse 1 and is the exact same Goku from those events. So, exactly safe to say that the Xenoverse 3 Goku would also remember these same events. And if he unlocks the ability to manipulate time, which he does in his Ultra Superhero state, he is most likely the new Guardian and Gatekeeper of Time. Hence why he has a new design in Xenoverse 3 as well. Now, the insane part is that this most likely means that we are getting not only just a big colossal city that we see in Xenoverse 3, which I actually think has nothing to do with the Time Patrol, but we also be getting a separate location that will actually be the Time Patrol. Maybe this will be the new location of the Time Nest, or where the Time Patrol is stationed. Again, kind of like the Justice League Tower and Metropolis and Gotham. You know, I mean, there's going to be a place where all the superheroes hang out, all the Time Patrollers hang out, and then there's going to be a place where all the other people hang out, like Spider-Man, who have to live their double lives and the rest, all that insane stuff. And I think that's absolutely insane, because Xenoverse 2 already had multiple hub worlds in them. You could go to Frieza's spaceship, you could go to Capsule Corp, you could go to Majin Buu's house, and then you had Conton City as well as all the other places you can basically go in that location. And Xenoverse 3, made 10 years after Xenoverse 2, is going to have a whole lot more to explore. But first, let's actually talk about how Xenoverse 1 did everything, and then we'll build back up to where Xenoverse 3 is right now. Again, Toki City was, you know, the first city ever born, Supreme Kai of Time's actual city. Even since Dragon Ball Online, that's basically been the area where she resides, since it's where the Time Nest is. And when that got destroyed, she just asked Shenron, hey, can we have a new city, a bigger city, since the Time Patrol is bigger now? And he was like, sure, why not? And that's how we got Conton City. But this city is, again, 150 years after the previous city. It's most likely one that wasn't wished into existence. They just made it, since it seems to just be an expansion of West City from Dragon Ball's actual age, especially Dragon Ball Super's actual age. Dragon Ball Super's actual age is like 780, and then Age 1000 is way after that. So it's safe to say this is just West City getting bigger. The same thing happens in real life, obviously. We have our territories and they get bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on, because we're humans. We're just going to expand and just make more land, take more land. The more of us that are on this planet, the more places we're going to take, so that way we can accommodate the extra lives there. And because obviously it's an expansion of a normal city, I've said this before in a previous video, but not everyone who lives here is a Time Patroller. It's not like Conton City and Toki City, where every single person is a Time Patroller, because that you literally can only go there if they like recruit you, or if you like make your way through the academies and all that Xenoverse 2 like opening cinematic stuff, right? Where everyone who lives in those cities are like, you know, superpowered people, right? But in the new like West City, the big West City from Age 1000, obviously a lot of people are just normal civilians, because we see them like, you know, just go to school and be surprised that characters can fly. Brett has to like do his transformation in secret when no one's looking, etc, right? It seems like people do have double lives here, kind of like traditional superheroes, like, you know, Great Saiyan Man, Batman, Superman. Why did I mention Great Saiyan Man first? But you know what I mean. Like Spider-Man, Great Saiyan Man, Batman, Superman, they have their normal lives and then their superhero lives. And that's most likely what this game is trying to emulate, with being the whole, like, you know, kind of like secret superhero vibe that's giving off, rather than the, oh yeah, we're just all part of a big, like, you know, workforce, and, you know, your co-workers basically surround you 24/7 and they help you take down like certain tasks, or, you know, help you with certain things, or you help them with certain things, etc. Right? This is more of a traditional superhero story, which again kind of lines up with Dragon Ball Online, where you are just a person in the world, and the world is already doing its own things separate to you, but you are also low-key an individual that protects it and saves it. Not that everyone knows that, of course, but you are doing that. It's not like with Xenoverse 1 and 2, where everyone who you see, whether it be in the multi-lobby, or the single lobby, or the Conton TVs, or the NPCs, even the NPCs like Frieza and Metal Cooler, when you go to the Frieza spaceship area, they all know you're a time patroller. They're just cool with you because they can't really do anything about it. Now, when it comes to Conton City itself, I'm not sure how it's going to actually fully be destroyed, because we have no actual confirmation on that. We did believe it was going to get destroyed back in Future Saga Chapter 3, especially because of all of the advertising at the end of Future Saga Chapter 2 that showed it getting destroyed, and in Future Saga Chapter 3 it actually takes some damage, but doesn't fully get destroyed. But the reason why these cities obviously being, you know, destroyed is very important, is because that's unironically how the Xenoverse, like, plot progresses. Toki Toki needs to get destroyed for Conton City to exist, and Conton needs to get destroyed for a new city to exist, because, you know, there's going to be a new hub world, a new location, all of that different stuff, right? I think it's the best way to show a passage of time, that a smaller city can become a bigger city, because, you know, lots of time has passed. And I'm not even going to lie to you, the new hub world for, like, the massive city that we're going to get to explore in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 is obviously great. But I still think there is going to be some sort of time patrol or time nest, because Great Saiyan Squad is obviously cool, don't get me wrong. But there's no way that the game just abandons all of its themes about time when we go into the third one. Like, it's not going to do that. Yeah, obviously the game is still called Xenoverse because Xenoverse is the most successful of the series, right? So there's no reason to just not make another Xenoverse game. But so far the game hasn't really shown many instances of time being manipulated. The only one we have in the whole, like, possible trailers for Xenoverse 3 is the part where the CAC, John 1000, looks at Goku and he sees all of, like, the history behind Goku. He sees all of the people he's faced, the friends he's made, even sees Beerus and Dragon Ball Super Broly, and then he finally, you know, captures the image of Goku before going Super Saiyan. That's the only idea we have that time is still, like, a major plot point in this, because the actual reveal trailer for the game's name doesn't have anything to, like, do with time. So before I mention that, because obviously there's still going to be, like, a massive focus on time, here's how I think it's going to go personally. I do think for the first act of the game you will be a regular Great Saiyan Man squad member, and then maybe for the second act of the game, that's when you unlock the ability to start traveling through time, or when you actually find the time patrol. Maybe Trunks and Supreme of Time will return then, but at the beginning of the game it's probably just going to be you being a regular superhero while the plot slowly unfolds and reveals what's actually going on. It wouldn't be crazy to say that they could obviously just add, like, a section for the Time Patrol, because again, the Time Patrol is basically like the Justice League. The whole, like, station is just full of other superheroes, and then the world down below is, like, you know, Metropolis and Gotham, etc, right? So it wouldn't be hard for them to add this, because remember in Xenoverse 2, you can literally just go to the other hub worlds. You can go to the Capital Corp house, you can go to Hercule's house, you can go to Majin Buu's house, you can go to Frieza's spaceship, you can go inside the Frieza's spaceship, you could go to Guru's place. There are so many extra locations that you can just go to inside of Conton City. Even the Time Nest itself, which is also a pretty massive location. Like, seriously, why does it take that long to walk from the entrance door to the main door of the Time Nest? It takes very long. So those are some pretty big locales. It's not too crazy to say that with the time meant to, like, make Xenoverse 3, they can just make even bigger worlds. But yeah, when it comes to how Conton is actually going to get destroyed, I have no idea, because the worst part about Xenoverse 1 City, Toki Toki City, is that most people do confuse these events together. Toki Toki does get destroyed, but it doesn't get destroyed by, like, Demigra's attack at the end of the game. It gets destroyed because after the end of the game, when everything's already peaceful, Supreme Kai of Time, Elder Kai, and Trunks, I'm pretty sure they make a mistake and accidentally destroy it. I don't think they even elaborate how. They just genuinely fumbled the bag and somehow blew up a whole city. And then they just asked General, hey, can we get a bigger one, please? And he was like, that's kind of weird. Are you sure you're not going to break this one too? But sure, you can have it. And that's how we get Conton City, right? So I don't know if they're going to just repeat that joke again, because obviously there will still be a time patrol or some semblance of a time patrol in Xenoverse 3. If there's no time patrol, then it will just be that Goku and the rest probably have the ability to control time, because we know at the end of Future Saga Chapter 4, Goku 100% is going to awaken as an Ultra superhero, meaning he would get some ability to control time, like how Ultra supervillain Frieza could go back in time, right? Frieza was a time god, so Goku is going to be getting those similar powers, and he's going to maybe be able to manipulate the flow of time. Maybe he'll be, I already said this, Goku most likely is just going to be like our mental figure of the game, right? He's going to be our Gojo Satoru, he's going to be the strongest, he's going to never be around when we actually need him, and then he's going to show up for only the super giga hard fights, so he can get like trapped and betrayed or something, so that way he won't be able to help us towards the end of the game until he eventually finally comes out and we can fight alongside them once more, because I know for a fact that's how they're going to do Goku. If it's Goku canon from Xenoverse 1 to 2, he remembers what's going on, and if it's canon from Xenoverse 2 to 3, he's going to be able to manipulate time. So I know for Goku for a fact is going to be a mentor, and he's going to probably be the new guy who governs and controls all of this stuff for us. And I think that is a solid place to end the video. Again, this isn't exactly how I think it's going to go, but for the most part, I've been right with all of my Xenoverse predictions. If you even go watch my original 7 reasons why Age 1000 is Xenoverse 3 video, I'm still right on most of those points, like not to toot my own horn, but like if you're a long-time Xenoverse player, you can kind of put these two things together, especially if you keep tracks on how Bandai Namco or DIMPS operate their systems. You can make these things even, like these connections, become as clear as day. So without further ado, again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. If you have any differences or disagree with any of my points or my theories or my speculations, also do please let me know in the comment section down below, because again, I'd love to hear your points, you guys that might actually give me ideas as to how I'm wrong and how it might actually lead to something else, and we could actually figure this whole thing out before the game even launches. But without further ado, I do think that's a great place to end the video. Again, I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like in the video, don't forget to subscribe as it greatly supports the channel, and leave a comment down below as to what you'd like to see next, fellas. I do love you all, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace. Bye bye.